Now, we know that the NYPD has been infiltrating innocent Muslim groups here in this country, in the United States. Now, we also know that they went outside of their jurisdiction. NYPD is supposed to be in New York City. They went to New York State. Okay, that's, still same state at least. They went to New Jersey. Even the Republican governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie, angry about that. Part of the reason is they don't tell anybody. They don't tell the local authorities. They don't even tell the FBI as they do their spying operation on innocent Muslims in areas that aren't even their jurisdiction. And in this case, we've got a 911 call that the Associated Press fought to have released by the New Brunswick Police, and finally it has been released. Now, this is a local landlord. He's going to do his inspection, and he sees this really mysterious apartment, and he calls 911. He's worried because, they've told him, hey, watch out for terrorists. They might be doing surveillance. He sees surveillance in the apartment. He calls 911. This is what happens.
We've been doing the 5-year state inspection, and came across an apartment where there's some suspicious activity.
Suspicious?
Suspicious in the sense that the apartment has no furniture except 2 beds, has no clothing, has New York City Police Department radios. There's computers in there. There's computer hardware, software, just laying around. There's pictures of terrorists. There's pictures of our neighboring buildings that they have.
In New Brunswick?
Yes.
So you were inspecting the apartments for?
We have our annual, our every 5-year state inspection for every apartment.
Okay.
So we notified all the residents that we'd be going into each unit.
Okay.
And that was about 2 weeks ago. And so we've been going through the building, unit by unit, and we came across this one apartment, number 1076, and it had these mysterious items. But it doesn't seem like it's someone's in there, because we sent out a notice about 2 weeks ago that we're going to be doing a state inspection, and that notice is still hanging on the.
Great credit to Associated Press for staying with this story and getting those tapes. And I love the excuse that the NYPD came up with. Now remember, they're looking at innocent students. They're going into cafes. They're going into mosques. They're going into campuses like Rutgers to do this spying operation. They don't. You know what happened after this? After the landlord calls it in, and his name is the superintendent, Salil Sheth, the FBI and the local cops show up because they're worried that maybe it's. They don't know why they got NYPD stuff in there. Maybe it's terrorists that have information about NYPD. And then the NYPD has to tell them, yeah, that's our bad. We didn't tell you, but we were doing a surveillance operation there outside of our jurisdiction. But my favorite part is the excuses. First, they didn't want to turn over the information. And Lieutenant Commander William McGrody and Assistant Chief Thomas Galati said, no. If we turned over the information, it would, quote, jeopardize investigations and endanger the people and the buildings. Now that we have the information, the only danger was the ridiculous NYPD doing surveillance on a bunch of college kids. Here's probably what they found out about Muslim students going to Rutgers. They probably drink too much. Okay, now, this was back in 2009, by the way. So, oh my God, it could endanger the building if we told you about it. Now we find it. So what's their new excuse? They say, oh, no, it's okay. The NYPD's Deputy Commissioner for Legal Matters, Andrew Schaffer, said, they're not acting as police officers in other jurisdictions, so it's okay that they're in other jurisdictions. So the first excuse was, this is important police work, don't interfere, don't ask for any information. Okay, now that we found that out, that it's not true, they say, okay, I know we're outside of our jurisdiction, but what we're doing is not illegal because we weren't doing police work. Then why did you tell me you were doing police work in the first place? Well, that's because you wanted to keep it secret, because you know what you're doing is wrong. This is outrageous. This is not what the United States government or any of its branches is supposed to be doing to its own people. And in the case of the NYPD, not only do they do it to their own citizens in New York City, but they go and do it to other people's citizens that they have no jurisdiction in. You know that the NYPD has gone as far as New Orleans to do this kind of surveillance? Get out of our lives. You have no authority. You have no business. You haven't even told the FBI about it. And the reason you didn't tell the FBI is because you knew what you were doing is wrong. And by the way, it's literally un-American. to assume that American citizens are guilty, not to get warrants, not to have probable cause, but to look into innocent Americans' lives and violate their privacy like this. It is against our Constitution and it is un-American. Young Turks.